Hi, my name is Angelina Rodriguez, and I'm reading the Bible out loud to you in a way that's easier to understand. Today's been a really rough day. I've been having to deal with, the stress of moving and, you know, asking people for help, learning to accept help, and learning to accept that not everybody is as dependable as I would need them to be or would like to believe that they are. I'm still learning how to deal with disappointment. It's rough for me. And then on top of that, I have a health condition that causes me nausea and migraines and body aches and extreme pain sometimes. And today was one of those instances where I was down and unable to move for 2 hours. It was literally just breathing and praying that it would stop before I literally felt like I was going to die. Anyways, we're in the book of Exodus now, guys. We are done with Genesis and we are moving forward. And nothing's going to stop us. Not pain, not disappointment, and not boredom. All right, so Exodus chapter 1. These are the names of the sons of Israel who went to Egypt with Jacob, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. The descendants of Jacob numbered 70 in all. Joseph was already in Egypt. Now Joseph and all his brothers and all that generation died, but the Israelites were exceedingly fruitful. They multiplied greatly, increased in numbers, and became so numerous that the land was filled with them. Then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt. Look, he said to his people, the Israelites have become far too numerous for us. Come, we must deal shrewdly with them, or they will become even more numerous, and if war breaks out, will join our enemies, fight against us, and leave the country. So they put slave masters over them to oppress them with forced labor, and they built Pithon and Ramses as store cities for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. So the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites and worked them ruthlessly. They made their lives bitter with harsh labor in brick and mortar and with all kinds of work in the fields. In all their harsh labor, the Egyptians worked them ruthlessly. Brick and mortar. See, that just shows that, building these houses that we are forced to live in to keep up with the Joneses. And if you don't have them, you can't have your kids. And nobody will love you. Well, it was considered punishment to have to build these things that only the rich back then were able to live in, because everybody else just kind of lived on the land. Let's keep going. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, when you are helping the Hebrew women during childbirth on the delivery stool, if you see that the baby is a boy, kill him. But if it is a girl, let her live. The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. They let the boys live. Then the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and asked them, why have you done this? Why have you let the boys live? The midwives answered Pharaoh, Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women. They are vigorous and give birth before the midwives arrive. So God was kind to the midwives, and the people increased and became even more numerous. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people, every Hebrew boy that is born you must throw into the Nile, but let every girl live. So what we're talking about right now is a type of genocide ordered by Pharaoh but it's of the nature, it's of the sexist nature. He only wants he wanted them murdered, and now he wants them drowned. And the midwives are doing the best that they can to save them by saying that, they weren't able to, that the mothers gave birth so quickly that they were unable to stop the birthing process from happening. And then now they're going to have to find a whole nother way to make certain that these children are not murdered, because they're going to be thrown into the Nile by the hundreds, thousands even, and only the women will live. Well, that's the end of chapter 1. I look forward to seeing you for chapter 2 of the book of Exodus. We're going to keep going chapter after chapter after chapter. No matter how many times the internet crashes, no matter how many bad days we have, or how much pain hits us, or how much migraines, or how many people just try to stop us, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep praying. And we're going to keep pushing forward, because we got to let as many people as possible know about the Word of God the best way that we can. If you want to find the rest of the chapters of Genesis or the book of John, you can just look me up at Jesus is a DJ on YouTube. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because I would really love to go live.